Okay, so we got our third monster in the Godzilla trilogy, or fourth monster in the monster anthology, if you're counting King Kong Skull Island as well. But yeah, anyway, it came out on Amazon Prime today and on Sky Store, so let's talk about it. Off the bat, I just want to say that this is a spoiler-free review, so don't panic. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Jumping straight into the story of this film, as you probably guessed, it is King Kong finally facing off against Godzilla, in what I would say is arguably the best film in the monster universe that we have to date. At least action-wise, that is. Look, I'm going to be honest, if you've seen these sort of films before, then you know exactly what you're getting into. And this one doesn't break the mold in any way, shape or form. Plus, this one has the added bonus with all the fights finally taking place during the day, so you can actually see what's going on. And if you've seen Godzilla 1 and 2, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The first one I thought was really good, and the second one I also thought was quite a bit of fun, if you took out all the human interaction stuff that was bogging it down. But we finally at least got to see Mothra, Rodan and Ghidorah. And these movies always do so well to show us the scale of these monsters. Similar to Pacific Rim, the first one at least, you feel how ginormous these creatures are when they're paired up against humans through camera work perspectives, and just you feel how heavy each movement is. When you get that factor down, when you feel like these things are ginormous compared to you, that's when it becomes far more immersive. And the CGI is always incredible with these films, but the main problem was that all of these fights between the monsters always took place at night. Plus the added bonus that a lot of them are usually cut up to death with interactions between humans taking place at the time. So you end up not getting this single cohesive fight that you can see between two monsters. And I think in a way this movie has finally learnt from that. They're finally filmed during daylight so you can see what's going on. The perspective and the camera angles are also a lot more clearer so you can see the action in full, and it just makes it far more enjoyable. And within the fight itself, there's certainly less cuts between humans and the monsters, so it looks like you can watch this big monster fight in one full go. It definitely feels like they took pages from Kong Skull Island instead of the Godzilla movies. And funny enough, actually, I would say this feels more like a King Kong sequel than a Godzilla threequel. And it's kind of hard to explain why without diving into spoilers, but the story for the most part has you following King Kong. But unfortunately, like all other monster movies, it is just bogged down with these boring characters that you just don't care about. You get this one side quest story with these three, which is a bit more interesting and also a bit more relevant. And then you get the other side of the coin with these three who are, I just could not give a shit about these people at all. Which is a shame because I haven't really seen that Kiwi kid from Deadpool show up in anything else since, so I thought it was going to be quite fun to watch him in this as well. Nope. I feel like the first Godzilla did it right by having us follow the perspective of a soldier, which made it more believable that they'd be entangled in these fights and also had a bit more impact to the story. The second Godzilla was just atrocious with its human characters and made it nearly impossible to like any of them. And this one's a kind of a 50-50 in my opinion. I mean, on a personal note, it was great to see Alex Skarsgård again. I haven't seen him since Tarzan, the Warner Brothers version. And the other bit that unfortunately bogs down this movie is you've got to take a really big leap of faith here with the technology used in this film. Which is really bizarre considering that the first Godzilla and even the second Godzilla were taking place during modern day where you're using the technology of today. This one almost felt like a sci-fi movie with the technology that was being used in everyday life. We've gone from Godzilla appearing in 2015 to almost like we're 200 years in the future all of a sudden, with flying cars and high-speed light tunnels going through the center of the earth. It just seems like this really random leap in technology and we don't understand at all how we suddenly got from A to W. So you're gonna have to look past that part of the story because it plays quite a big part in it. Actually, yeah, now that we're talking about the story, there is one other thing which I have to talk about, and that's just the first part of this story has you going down this side quest mission essentially to get to a certain destination, but there's these insane hurdles that are almost impossible to meet, which is why we have the first struggle in the story. But then once they get to the destination, there's all of a sudden this far easier method that they just almost write themselves into, where you wonder why they even went through all the troubles they did in the first place if they could just do the second option, which happens. It's a bit annoying and I can't really talk about anything more in detail than that, but it's just something when you see it, you'll probably notice it as well. Kind of just feels like the writers forgot the physical limitations that they had set for their characters in the film. It takes quite a while to ramp up, but when you finally get into the chunk of the movie that everyone's really there for, it is spectacular to see. The movie's under 2 hours, but it feels a little bit longer than that because the first half an hour of this film feels quite slow and stretched. And it's only until you get that 30-minute mark where it finally kicks into a decent gear. But yeah, my point stands. If you're a fan of the first few Godzilla movies and the King Kong movie, then I'm pretty sure you're going to really enjoy this one as well. And you know what? Even if monster movies aren't your thing, with the available new content that there is to watch currently without cinemas and big Hollywood movies appearing, I would say this is definitely something I'd recommend to everyone. But that's it from me here today, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. If you liked this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out. And if you've seen Godzilla vs King Kong already, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Did you like the movie as much as I did? Maybe it wasn't your cup of tea. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime, and video games. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye bye.